Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Apologize again for doing this while I'm in the car, but I got to do it now. Crazy day. So, question we're answering today is, what is the most important part of wholesaling? And originally, when I thought about this one, because someone asked me what's the most important part, I think the most important part is marketing, because it's also the hardest part, right? I was going to say making offers. I think that's the most important part of my business, but if you're starting, marketing really is the most important part. Now, let me tell you what I mean by marketing and where that goes. The truth is, the main metric I measure my business on is making offers. That comes way after marketing. But when you're starting, everybody wants to just jump over marketing. And you got to understand what wholesaling is. Wholesaling is contacting or being contacted by sellers and, in essence, asking them if they want to sell their house. And that is a thankless, difficult process where you are going to be told horrible things many times over a long period of time. And you are going to have to eliminate thousands of people to find a few little nuggets of gold. As I say, you got to kiss a lot of frogs to get a prince. And it's probably the most important part of wholesaling. Now, I don't just wholesale, right? I also rehab. I also take listings. If I take my whole business as a whole, as a real estate investing business, then I would say the most important part is making offers. I'm not going to get into making offers. I'm actually having a RIA meeting tonight where I'm talking about making offers, but wholesaling marketing is probably the most important part. So marketing, let me break it down into a few steps. The way I define marketing. So marketing is either paying for inbound traffic, let's say pay-per-click or SEO, that's PPC, or that getting Google to get people who are looking to sell their house to come to you. Or, a hybrid is mail, which means you send out mail and then people call you. Or you actually reaching out by calling, texting, RVMing, that's ringless voicemailing people and saying, hey, are you interested in selling? And so, most of those people, a vast majority of those people are going to tell you no. A small percentage are going to say yes or maybe. And those people, sorry, someone's texting me like madman. Those people are the people that you have to follow up on. But that whole process of marketing is by far the most important part of your job as a wholesaler. And it is without a doubt the 100% the part that gets most people out of the business, right? So Seth Godin has a book called The Dip, and it's talking about how when you start something, it's great, and then immediately there's a dip, right? He calls the dip of going to medical school is organic chemistry, right? It's a very hard course. A lot of people go pre-med and they can't get past that dip. And then he gives a million examples of things. So the dip is the marketing, because most people cannot or will not, create a system that they're going to stick with where they are contacting people to buy their house, and a vast majority of those people are going to tell them something nasty, right? I got told to die in a fire. I got told I'm a scummy, you're a scummy, greedy developer, whatever the hell. I'm called all kinds of things. Now, I don't care anymore, but most people cannot deal with that and decide at some point in that process that it is not going to be what they want to do. So marketing is the most important part, and getting those leads. And you're getting leads are people that are somewhat interested in selling, and then following up with those leads. Now, after that difficult part, by far the most important part of the business is making offers. And this is a part of the business that a lot of people don't do, right? Because what we think we're going to call people and they're going to say, oh, I'll sell you property for any price, anytime. I just want to sell right now. I got to sell in 5 minutes. And that's not what's going to happen. People are going to give you a price. And sometimes they're telling the truth. Like that may be the least they can take, right? They may owe that much money, or they may need that much money to get out, to move on to wherever they're going, over and above what they owe, whatever it is. And sometimes they're not telling the truth. Very often they're not telling the truth. But they're going to give you a number, and you're almost always going to have to offer them below, sometimes very significantly below their number. And people that are new in the business won't make an offer in that case. They'll say, well, why am I wasting my time? The guy wants 500, I can only offer 300. Why would I offer him 300? Right? The answer is that you have no idea if he's telling the truth. And even if he's telling the truth today, his number may change later, right? Because what happens is circumstances and motivation change all the time. All the time. So what happens is somebody may have in their head that they won't take less than 500 today, but in 2 years from now, they are much more eager to sell. Somebody may say, well, I have a tenant in there and they're paying, and therefore I'm not going to take a huge discount. And then that tenant tells them, I'm never paying you again. And tenant starts fighting them a court. That changes. Motivation changes, circumstances change, all these things change, just parked. So when things change, once you've made an offer, you've opened the door to create this dialogue and this negotiation with the seller of possibly buying the property from them. But what a vast majority of people who are new in the business or just don't know what they're doing do is they walk away from that seller and they say, well, he wants too much. That's not a good lead. And that is very foolish, right? You've got to make offers. You must make offers. That is the brick, right? Gary Harper from Sharper Solutions, he has a whole enterprise software, I think it calls Empire. It's like an EOS system. And he says every business has a brick that builds the business. And it may not be what you think, right? You would think in our business, maybe it's deals, right? How many closings do I have? But that's a lagging indicator. And very often that's out of my control. And he gives the example of Foot Locker. Foot Locker was really in trouble a while ago, and they were looking for that one brick that they could measure on. And believe it or not, they figured out that it was how many feet they measure. How many people come into the store and have their feet measured. And they could pretty much figure out that if 10 people had their feet measured, 4 would buy a pair of shoes. I don't know what the exact number was, but they figured out a certain percentage. And they just made a report to every single sales associate at Foot Locker, measure people's feet. Say, hey, you're looking at this thing, is it okay if I just measure your feet? Even if somebody said, you know what, I know I've been an 11 my whole life, I know I'm an 11, that's it. They said, just let's measure, let's see, maybe something changed or whatever. So, and then that brought the whole company back, which is crazy if you think about it, right? You would think it's how many shoes they sell, but it wasn't that. They figured out there was something that they could measure their business by, that they could control. So, sorry. Making offers is something in your control and something you can do. So I make it a point, and I wasn't perfect at this for a long time. I'm trying to be perfect now. Every time I go on an appointment, I make an appointment. Even if it's a disaster, right? Unless the guy tells me he doesn't want to sell, which happens once in a while. It's a bad appointment. But I make it a point to make an offer usually within 24 hours. Some people make that offer at the appointment. That's fine. I'll make the appointment soon after or a day after. So making offers is that one brick that builds your business that you can control, right? You can't really control how many people say yes to you. You can't really control a lot of other parts of the business, but making offers is the one thing that is important. So if you're starting off, you have to get the marketing down. You have to get a system of getting leads of people that are interested in selling. And then once you meet with them, and whether that's in person or over the phone, you have to make them an offer. You have to. And a lot of people don't do it. A lot. Right? Now, think about it. If you have a seller that's telling you, I want $500,000, and you're meeting with 6 investors, telling all of them, I need $500,000, you can only offer $300,000. You may be the only one making an offer of $300,000. So if the circumstances or motivation change later, you may be the only person that made them an offer. Also, I send all my offers via email or hard copy via regular mail if they don't have an email address, so that they have something in writing so that if their circumstances or motivation change, they can come back to me. So those are by far the most important parts of the business. I think they're both important. For me, I have my marketing pretty much down, so making offers is the thing that I have to do. I got to be on top of that. I hope this was helpful. If you are interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching that I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. What else? If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help me. And please keep the comments coming. I try to post 5 times a week. I shouldn't say try. I post 5 times a week. And I don't always know what to say. Any comment is welcomed. It doesn't even have to be about the video you're watching. So if you post a comment and it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've covered before, maybe multiple times, I'll send you a link or multiple links to videos on it. If it's something new or something I haven't covered in a while, I'll do a new video on it. But I really, really appreciate all the comments that have been coming, and a lot more people have been watching. I love it. So I hope this answered your questions, and I hope that I can be of help to you in the future. Thank you very, very much for watching.